So the challenge that I mentioned in the last video was to modify the program, our guessing game, using a while loop to allow the player to continue guessing. The important change is the use of a while loop. As long as the guess doesn't equal the answer, the loop will continue requesting a new guess and checking the answer. So I'm going to start by wrapping all the code, including the input line, in a while loop. I'm basically going to come up to the guess equals int input line, basically here. I press enter there, and I'm going to type while guess is not equal to answer, colon, and then I'm going to indent all this code right down to the end of the file. So I can just select it all and press tab, and it all gets indented, as you can see. And actually what I'll do is, in terms of the print, let's change that as well. I'm going to cut that out, and I'm going to put that on line 6. We don't need to re-show that every time around the loop. Alright, so the way we've got our code now, it's going to keep looping until guess equals answer. So in other words, when guess equals answer, the loop will be exited. So we've got a bit of tidying up to do, starting with the warning on line 8. Now if we hover over that, name guess cannot be defined. So guess hasn't been given a value yet, which means we can't use its value in the condition. So you can fix that by initializing guess. Let's do that after they're printing the answer. Guess is equal to 0. Basically here we want to initialize it to any number. I'll make a point of that, a note of that, to any number that doesn't equal the answer. Okay, so this is working because we're not allowing 0 as a valid answer, so it's probably a good value to use here. Alright, so what next? Well, let's look on our line 12. We're checking to see if the answer is correct. Now that we're allowing many guesses, we're going to be doing that check each time around the loop. And that means we don't know if they got the correct answer on the first guess, and therefore the message is currently wrong. So what I'm going to do is copy the text from line 21 and replace it on line 13. So come down here, I'm going to copy that line. I could copy the text or the whole thing. I'll just copy the whole line and put it there, like so. Right, now the other thing we need to do here is if they have got the correct answer, we don't want to loop again. A break will break out of the loop. So let's add that after the print of well done, you guessed it. Like so. All right, so we're almost done at this point. Now we're getting the player's input on line 10. That means we don't want to do it again down here on line 20. In fact, all the code from line 20 onwards can effectively be deleted. What I'll do now is I'll just comment that out. And essentially, that's our solution. And basically the code's complete. So let's actually test it though and see if it works. What we're going to do is I'm going to run the program and confirm that it keeps requesting guesses until we get the correct answer. Alright, so I know the answer is 4. I'm just going to type 7. Please guess lower. 2. Higher. 3. Obviously it's working. And 4. Well done, you've guessed it. So clearly that's working. So that's the solution, or our solution. If your solution behaves in the same way, then well done. Now you may have written the code differently. There's often several ways to get the same results in almost any programming code you care to come up with. So don't be worried if your code looks different to ours. And if you struggled to complete the challenge, also don't worry. The important thing here was to have a go. You'll find that my solution makes more sense if you tried to solve the challenge yourself first. More importantly, perhaps you'll also understand why what you were trying didn't work. Alright, now if you recall, we had an optional extra part of the challenge to check for 0 and break out of the loop if 0 was typed. Now we can do that by adding an if block after getting the player's input. Let's have a go at doing that. So I'm going to put that on line 12 before the test for the correct answer. And here I can go up and type if guess is equal to 0, colon, break. Alright, that's the code. So that gives the player a way to get out of the program if they can't guess the number. Now before testing that, I'm going to increase the range of numbers they have to guess. Let's just test that as well. And instead of making it 10 as it currently is, I'm going to make that 1000. Run the program. Let's enter a few guesses. We know what the correct answer is. We'll say 500. Please guess higher, 750. Please guess lower, 625. Okay, that's enough. Let's enter 0. And you can see we successfully exited the program when I entered 0. Alright, so that's the challenge completed, including the optional extra part as well. Now, by the way, you should be able to guess the correct number within 10 guesses. Now, if you're not sure how you can do that, I did allude to it a little bit by the types of the numbers that I was entering, but full details will be disclosed in the next video.